All right, so I've got a project I want to do, which is repairing this table leg. This was my father's. This is part of there's a pair, of course, and but it's like cast iron. But yeah, it's got a crack right here. You can see that. So I want to repair this. I'm going to go ahead and make a little V groove in here, grind this out a little bit, clean up all this paint and everything off the sides of it, and then I'm going to fit this up as best I can, and I'm going to braze it. I'm going to use silicone braze. I wanted to use aluminum braze because I haven't tried aluminum braze before, and I've heard other people like doing that for welding cast iron. There's tons of different ways of repairing cast iron, from stick welding with a special nickel-based filler rod to traditional oxyacetylene welding with flux and brazing filler rod. And there's a various different opinions on how to do this. I've also read a couple opinions that people really like to use of stuff if you're oxyacetylene brazing this. A flux from Superior Flux Company it's called an anti-flux easy number 3, and that's I've had a very hard time even locating that on the internet though. So I even saw somebody the other day that said they did it for flux they use this borax, which I thought was pretty wild. I would like to try that. I'm not going to do that today. I really like the TIG weld stuff. So today we're going to try and TIG weld this with silicon bronze, and I'm basically just going to do it on the outside. If I were doing it with the oxyacetylene torch, I would have the expectation of being able to get being able to wet the bronze down in between this crack, fill this crack right in between the metals, and but I don't expect to do that today. I expect to just sort of do a bead on the outside. Basically, there'll be a little bit of wetting in the inside, and it's really not that far, so maybe we'll get all the way through this crack or not. We might not. So, but because of what this is, it's a table leg. It's not going to see cycling of heat like you would on an exhaust if you were welding a cast iron, like, you know, intake or exhaust manifold, that kind of thing. But not so much with this. This should be pretty solid and good to go once we make this repair. But yeah, this is a pretty cool piece. I don't know if you can read this here, but it looks like it says AMCO, like number 3 AMCO. I think that's what that's reading there, but it's got some layers of paint on it. We've got this funky little foot on it. I'm actually going to try and put some casters on there and make a little thing that bolts onto here and bolts on the caster that way. And then we've got a couple multiple spots to sort of hook things in here. This one has clearly been used. I'm going to use this again to make some cross brace sort of things. But you've got little spots here where you could screw in some stuff as well. So I'm not sure what these originally were for, but pretty cool. And then here is the other leg, and the top I'm going to use, and the top is just some cedar boards that I salvaged from like a fence basically, and I've glued them together, but I still need to sort of refine them down. Alright, so here's my silicon bronze TIG rod here, basically filler metal rod. I'm gonna brush this thing off, get some of the oxides off the outside of it. That should help it flow better. Next, I want to heat this piece up to about, at least, I want to heat it up over 500 degrees Fahrenheit. It should help the brazing flow in better to the actual cast iron material. If we heat up the cast iron material, it also will help to prevent cracking and to help keep everything straight. Especially the correct thing to do would be to heat up the entire cast iron piece, but because this is so big, I'm only going to heat up, you know, out to about here or so, about a foot-ish or so out from the part that I'm working on. And then I've got it clamped down as well, so hopefully that will help keep everything straight. And then when we go to cool it down, I'll cool it down as well. So with cast iron, there's a preheat, which is what we're going to do right now, what I just talked about, and then we're also going to be a post heat, so to speak, a cooling down period. So we want it to cool down slowly. So we're actually gonna throw some stuff over the top of this to try and keep some heat in it. We've got like a piece, like a welding jacket and stuff like that. I can throw over the top of this, help retain some of the heat in here and keep it, and so it will cool down slower.
Alright, that is go with 500.
Alright, so I've got it welded up on both sides here. It's currently, just under 500 at the moment, right in the weld spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover this thing up. An old glove is sort of sacrificial piece here. Throw some more leather over the top of that. I'm gonna throw this towel. Over there as well, and hopefully this will all sort of help retain the heat a little bit and help it cool slowly. All right, it has been an hour and there's still some heat to this thing. I can still feel warmth here, so I'm gonna let this sit for a bit longer. All right, it's been several hours here and it should be cooled down to room temp, everything now. All right, let me clean this thing up with the wire wheel. So I have the top like this, and then we need something in the bottom to span the legs on the bottom. And we're gonna make that a shelf as well. I've also got this piece of old bed frame, and I'm also going to make that work. I'm making brackets for this wheel to clamp the wheel onto our cart, because our cart has those table legs have some weird attachments on the bottom. I'm going to use the actual wheel itself as a fixture and fixture my little brackets that I'm making on there. I'm going to weld this guy in here like this. Tried and true.